Hey there, welcome to Home Field Kitchen. Glad you found us. Today we're doing baseball. Specifically, we have hot honey chicken fries from the Peoria Sports Complex in Peoria, Arizona, which is the spring training home of the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres. This submission was submitted by an anonymous supporter. Okay, so instead of talking about the team first, we are going to talk about the stadium and the Peoria Sports Complex. As I said, it's located in Peoria, Arizona, which is right outside of the Phoenix area, and it is a multi-use baseball facility that opened in 1994. It's actually owned by the city of Peoria. Now, at the center of this complex is a 12,000 seat stadium. And again, that stadium acts as the home field for the Seattle Mariners and the San Diego Padres during spring training. Now, it is also, when spring training is over, it also acts as the home field for multiple minor league teams. It's kind of come and gone over the years with which teams have been involved. I don't even know which ones are going to be around this year, next year. It just seems a very fluid thing. In addition to the playing field, the facility itself covers 145 acres, and it encompasses 12 practice fields and player development facilities. So it truly is a baseball facility at all levels. Now, in addition to baseball, it also serves as a center for multiple community events throughout the year. Okay, so the photo we have, it was taken during a spring training game, but we don't know which team. And since there's two major league teams that call the Peoria complex home, instead of talking about either one of them, we're actually going to talk about spring training. Now, specifically, we're going to talk a little bit about Arizona spring training, which is called the Cactus League. Now, the Cactus League dates to officially 1947. Prior to that, there were a few occasions where major league teams did use Arizona, but they quickly moved on to more traditional venues in those earlier years. And all of them were very short-lived. So officially, 1947 marks the beginning of the Cactus League when the Cleveland Indians and the New York Giants located there. Now, today, Cactus League has 15 teams that do their spring training in Arizona. So prior to 1947, the primary base of major league teams for spring training was Florida. Now, they also had some teams that used Texas, in addition to a little bit in Arizona. They also used Texas, California, even Arkansas, and a few other spots around the Deep South. But in 1947, Bill Veeck, the owner of the Cleveland Indians, he turned out to be the primary driver of this, he was preparing to help integrate Major League Baseball. And so instead of locating in Florida, where there was obviously lots of segregation and not good stuff going on, he convinced Horace Stoneham, the Giants owner, to move spring training for those two teams to Arizona to help to get away from the strict segregation in the Deep South. Now, one other interesting thing about that, the player at the center of this decision for Bill Veeck, Larry Doby, he actually didn't participate in the 1947 spring training. That was primarily because he actually joined the team 1947, but mid-season, and became the first black player in the American League on July 5th, 1947. Let's take a look at what came in from our anonymous supporter. If you look at the photo, it's described as hot honey chicken fries. You can clearly see the fries. You can clearly see chicken. They look like chicken fingers, but they are cut up a little bit too. So it may even be more like a chicken tender that's cut up. There's a little bit of green onion on top. Beyond that, you don't see a lot, but there is no menu that we have. So I went out and had to do a little bit of research to see if I could find a little bit more about it. And the only thing I found was a single video that described it, and they said there was also nacho cheese sauce on this. I have no idea where the nacho cheese sauce is, but I'm going to go with it and put it all together with that, and we'll see how we compare. Okay, here's the plan. And I know, number one, I should be frying this because you can clearly tell it was fried, but sorry, I am not going to do that. It's way too messy for me, and I don't want to deal with cleanup. So first off, we're going to cut and coat and then bake the potato to make the fries. At the same time, we're going, not exactly the same time, but we're going to slice up the chicken into fingers, coat and bake that with the fries. While those are all baking, I'm going to be working on the cheese sauce, the nacho cheese sauce. And then of course we have the green onions for a little bit of decoration. And we can't forget the hot honey, since that's in the name of the dish. We got most of the chicken work done. I cut it up into kind of little half strips, a little bit thick, not anything too big. We have gluten-free breadcrumbs. I personally like gluten-free because they add from what I've found, is they add a much nicer crunch when you're doing some breading stuff. And this here is a mix of 3/4 cup water and 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Microwaved it to get it a little bit runny, but stay a little bit thick. You can see it doesn't gather in the whisk, but it does drip off a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour a little bit into the chicken, coat it with the breadcrumbs, put it on the pan, set it aside for while we do the potatoes. This way. And I don't want much in here because I just want a little bit of a coat on this. I'm hoping will add a little bit more crunch underneath. So that's why I just want a little bit. And I'm going to use my hands to this. Dump these. Actually, let's do it like that. Dump them all in there. Set that aside. And we'll just kind of coat them around a little bit. Bread them up. So they get a little bit of breading on them. Then we'll just throw them on the pan. And there's our chicken. We'll set this aside and we'll come back and get after the potatoes. Okay, now that we got the chicken done, it's time for the fries. I got them peeled. I got the potato peeled, sliced up. Got a few different sticks, different sizes, but shouldn't be a problem. And all we're going to do is we're going to dump it in the cornstarch mix, pull them out, and put them on the rack for now. Stir it around a little bit, make sure they get coated on all sides. So now we got them on there, we just need to space them out a little bit. So when we put them in the convection oven, the air will circulate well around all of them, make sure none are touching, and they should crisp up. Okay, I think that looks really good. Last thing we'll do before we pop them in the oven, I'm going to give them a quick spray with some oil, just to help that crispiness. And again, air fryer, so technically I am going to be frying them. Maybe not traditional frying, but I am going to fry all this. Okay, we have everything in the oven. It's at 375 in the convection oven. It's going to cook for 8 minutes. And after 8 minutes, we're going to flip the chicken and the potatoes, re-spray the potatoes with the cooking spray on top of the fries, and put it back in for 6 to 12 minutes, but checking very frequently on doneness. And then while that's all happening, I'm going to start on the cheese sauce. We have the fries and the chicken in. It's on its second half. They appear to be crisping. We'll see how it comes out. We're just getting ready. We're just about to hit 9 minutes. Now we're going to do the cheese sauce. We have 1 tablespoon of butter. We have 1 tablespoon of flour. And we have 1/2 cup of whole milk. We are going to warm this on the stove while we finish. And once it gets warmed up, we're going to start slowly adding the cheese to the milk and butter flour mixture. And when that's all melted and incorporated, we're going to add chili powder. It's 3 ounces of mild cheddar cheese and a 1/4 teaspoon of chili powder. Well, I gotta say that was a little bit more of a chore. I think the instructions I received on convection oven on the fries were maybe a little bit off. I actually, after the first 8 minutes, added about 18 more, and I also increased the temp. But they didn't come out too bad past that. But yeah, I think it could have used a little bit different instructions. So now let's put this thing together. When we look at the photo, the cheese sauce is what kind of throws me. So I am just going to assume the cheese sauce sits below the chicken. So I'm going to start with a nice bed of fries. Sorry, I caught my shirt there. A bed of fries that we're going to put the cheese sauce on. So next comes the cheese sauce. The nacho cheese sauce actually worked pretty good. I was a little surprised at that. But so we're just going to put some, I'm not going to put a ton on, but we're just going to put it, kind of try to get it all over. A couple scoops. Call that good. Push that to the side. And so that's what we have right now with the cheese sauce. And then we're going to add some chicken on top of this. The chicken, the air frying, they did come out crunchy, but a little bit more browning would have been nice. There's that. And then next, hot honey. It looks like they just kind of drizzled it over top of it, so that's what we are going to do. Should add a nice sweetness and, of course, a little bit of a kick to it. Got a few globs in there. Ooh, big glob. Okay, so now that's with the hot honey, and then a little bit of green onion sprinkled on top. And that is our finished product. I think it looks pretty tasty. We'll take a photo, do a comparison, and let you guys be the judge. Well, that was not bad. We did a little taste test. I'm going to go out on a limb and say Peoria Sports Complex was better than ours. We had a few issues with the fries and whatnot, but as far as looks go, I don't think we did too bad. We have the bed of fries that it sits on. Again, the original from Peoria on the left, ours on the right. Sits on a bed of fries. Since we couldn't see the nacho cheese sauce, I kind of put it underneath the chicken, which looks like what they did, and then topped the chicken with some of the hot honey with a little bit of the green onion spread on. I guess I spread mine out a little bit more than they did, but that's okay. But overall, I don't think it's a bad representation of what we have. And, you know, all in all, pretty good. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, it was hot honey chicken fries from the Peoria Sports Complex in Peoria, Arizona. It was submitted by an anonymous supporter, so we'll keep our secrets. And if you would like to see food from your home field, please be sure to tag us on Instagram at Homefield Kitchen or Twitter at Homefield Kitch. Send us a photo of your favorite snack from the stadium. Snap a couple photos of the inside, outside of the stadium. We would also appreciate if you include a snapshot of the menu or anything describing what is on your dish. Hey, thanks for watching again. Hope you enjoyed. Come back and visit, like and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it.